Hello, and welcome to Earthly Variations. Our goal is to help our viewers better understand herbalism and the positive effects it has on your body. I am your host, Jeff Zella, along with owner Christine Johnson. We are going to dive into the world of herbalism, nature's natural alternative. So today, Christine is going to teach us about tincturing, but before that, let's learn a little bit about her. How are you, Christine?
I'm well.
That's good. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been studying herbalism for, quite a few years. I made an official about 7 years ago when I started school at the American College of Healthcare Sciences and went through first their aromatherapy master's program and then decided to continue on and do their herbalism master's program.
Okay. So what is herbalism exactly?
Herbalism is using herbs to make medicine, to help our bodies function at peak performance, shall we say.
Okay.
Or to help us recuperate from illness or injury.
Okay. So you had mentioned that we're going to be tincturing today. What exactly is tincturing?
Well, tincturing, and this is a sample of what we're going to make here. Our elderberry tincture is what we're making today. And tincture is the infusion of herbs, either dried or fresh, in a solvent. And today's solvent is going to be alcohol. We're going to use vodka.
Ooh, I love vodka.
Yes.
So is this something that's going to be complicated, or can people do this at home?
Anybody can do this.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Anybody can do this. This is very simple stuff, and anybody can master this.
All right, so let's see how to make a tincture of elderberry.
Awesome. All right, let's get to it. Today we're going to make elderberry tincture. This is one that we've already made, but we're going to move on. Talking about elderberries, since we're going to be using those today, we want to know a little bit about what elderberry is. Elderberry is an immunobooster, so it helps build our immunity and keeps our immune system strong. It's great for helping to prevent illness, and it's great if we have gotten sick, to help shorten the duration of the illness and the severity. So for making elderberry tincture, we don't need a lot of stuff. We're going to start with an empty quart jar, or whatever size jar you want to use. I do everything in quarts. Feel free to use pints or jelly jars, old spaghetti jars work too. We're going to need 100 proof vodka. 80 proof vodka is acceptable, but 100 proof is what I prefer. We're going to need our elderberries. These are dried elderberries, and the reason we use dried elderberries as opposed to the fresh, it's because fresh elderberries contain cyanide, so that needs to be dried, and the cyanide is no longer effective once you've processed them and dried them. So we don't have to worry about cyanide poisoning with those. The other things you're going to need when we get ready to decant or bottle these tinctures, you're going to need a strainer and something to strain it into. We're doing elderberry, so I highly recommend gloves because elderberry is purple and it stains a lot of things. So, start you off by showing you the one that we've already made. And this is the one we're going to decant here in a moment. And you can see the inside and how thick and yummy that really looks. And it smells delicious. I know you can't smell it, but it smells delicious. All right, we're going to get ready to make our tincture. When you're using dried herbs, whether it be berries or leaves, you're only going to fill the jar about a quarter of the way with the herb. If you are using fresh, you're going to roughly chop the herb and then loosely pack it full. So you're going to go, all the way up here on a fresh herb. But we're not using fresh herbs. Today we are using dried herbs. And it's just very simple. We're going to scoop it out. I know this looks really difficult, but I'm sure everybody here can handle it. And we're really kind of going back in time here a little bit. When you think about this, our great-grandparents and all of our relatives prior to that, this was the kind of medicine that they used. You couldn't go to Walgreens and pick up, medicine at that point in time. You had to make your own. A lot of people lived out far, so they had to go out and collect their own herbs even to make their medicine. But this is what we use for medicine, and it worked, and it still works. All right, so we've got about a quarter of our jar. It's not an exact science, remember that? So I didn't measure it exact, but it is about a quarter of the jar. You're gonna take your vodka. Everybody with me? This is pretty hard stuff here. We're gonna fill it all the way to the top. Now, for those of you that don't want to use vodka, there are other ways to make tinctures. You can use apple cider vinegar, or you can use a vegetable glycerin. The process is a little different for both, but they do still work as tinctures. We will get into those possibly in later videos. All right, so we have filled this almost entirely to the top. And we are going to do the hardest part of this, and we're going to screw the lid on. Put it on nice and tight. You're going to give it a good shake. Make sure you get those elderberries all mixed in. And then we're going to store this in a cool, dark place. If you don't have a cool, dark place to store it in, you can put the whole thing in a paper bag just to keep the sunlight from hitting the alcohol in the herb. That'll break everything down, and we don't want to do that. Now, the shelf life of this right here, before we've even separated it, is a long time. Basically, it's an unlimited amount of time. FDA says it's like 5 years, but we say that this will last a really long time. So if you put this in the back of your cabinet and you've forgotten about it, and 2 years from now you find it and you think, oh no, can I use it? The answer is yes, you can. So go ahead and strain it out and do it. So we are putting this in here. The next step would be to put a label on. I forgot my labels, I apologize. Your label will say the date that you've created it. It will say the solvent that you used, in this case, the vodka. It'll talk about the herbs, list the herbs that you've used. Here we've just used elderberry. We could get creative and we could add cinnamon. We could add echinacea for a really powerful immunobooster. You could add ginger. You could add other things to this if you wanted. And then you're going to set it aside. And that's it. Now, if I've picked the herbs from my garden, I just write garden. If I've purchased the herbs, like I did in this case, I'll write the name brand down on the label so I know where I sourced the herbs from. So that's very simple. Anybody can do this. You guys can do it. So we're going to set that aside in our cool, dark place for about 60 days. And then poof, look, 60 days. This one has been tincturing for 60 days. And it is ready to strain. So we're trying not to make a mess here. Elderberry can be messy. So I am going to wear my gloves. And we are going to get the paper towel within reach. For those of you that want to start getting into herbalism and want to learn about herbs, I highly recommend that you pick one herb and start learning about it and using it. So in this case, it would be elderberry. You're going to read up on it and you're going to start using it. You can make a tincture, you can use it in teas, you can do a lot of fun stuff with elderberry. This little contraption right here is awesome for tincturing because it catches everything. So I don't have to worry about little tiny chunks getting through this like I would have to with this. So if we just do it like this, and then we're going to slowly pour it through. And then we're going to push it down. I need more hands. And kind of squeeze the berries and get all the good stuff out of them. So that's how it gets messy. Dump this one out. And we'll get the rest of it. Again, just kind of push it. Squeeze it. You can use a jelly bag. If you're a canner and you have a jelly bag at home, you can use a couple of layers of cheesecloth to put this in and to put it, make like a little sack out of it so that you can really give it a good squeeze. So that's it. That's all we're going to do. And ta-da, we have our elderberry tincture all ready to start taking. Your dosages for elderberry tincture is 1 to 2 dropperfuls 2 to 3 times a day if you're using it just as a support to keep yourself healthy. If you've already gotten sick or you feel sickness coming on or a member of your family's got the flu, you want to like triple that. You're going to want to take 3 to 5 dropperfuls 3 to 5 times a day to help you prevent getting sick. We're going to help build that immune system.
Wow, Christine, what a bunch of great information. But I got a couple of questions our viewers might ask. First one is with the alcohol. Do they have to worry about the alcohol content if they're giving it to their children or elderly?
The alcohol content of a dropper full of the tincture, which is of course made with vodka, so it does have alcohol, but it's equivalent to the same amount of alcohol that you'd find in an overripe banana.
Okay.
There's a way to get most of the alcohol content out. If you take your tincture and put your dropper, your dosage, in a cup of hot water, just let it sit there for about 5 minutes, most of the alcohol will evaporate.
Okay.
So now you have a lot less alcohol in your tincture.
Now, you had also mentioned that if they just don't want to use the alcohol, that they can use either the glycerin or the apple cider vinegar. Is that going to affect the shelf life or the potency of the mixture, of the tincture?
Yeah, it does. It affects both the shelf life and the potency. You lose potency with both of them, and the shelf life on both of them is much shorter than it is with the alcohol.
Okay. So the most important question, how does it taste?
It doesn't taste very good if you don't like vodka. I don't like vodka, so I'm not a big fan of my tinctures when I have to take them. But there's ways around it. So you can do the hot water trick that we talked about, where you let it sit for a few minutes, and that does help the flavor too to get rid of some of the alcohol. Also, you can drop it into your tea. Take your dose and just drop it into whatever tea you're drinking, and you're still going to get your tincture in.
Okay.
You could also take a shot glass or a small glass of honey.
Ooh, honey.
You know, like a tablespoon of honey.
Okay.
And put your tincture right in that.
Okay.
And shoot it down.
Okay.
Yummy.
So in the words of Mary Poppins, a spoonful of sugar, or even in this case, a glass of honey, will help the medicine go down.
It will for sure.
Excellent. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. If they have any questions or need more information, how would they get a hold of you?
You can check us out on our Facebook page and send me a message there, or you can comment here in the comment section. and we'll get back to you.
Excellent. Well, again, we hope you guys enjoyed this video, and definitely if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below or reach out at facebook.com/earthly variations. Thank you again for watching the video, and our next one will be on teas and the difference in herbal teas, bag tea versus
Loose leaf.
loose leaf. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.